Hello, good people. Welcome to the program Shagalinku. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and it's good to have you again on today's edition of the program. It's a Tuesday's edition, and thanks to everyone who's been watching us across the globe. On Saturday, we're here to talk about the oil and gas sector, and while Nigeria and the world also need to diversify, especially for Africa and all that. Today, we'll be looking at something else. We're asking what are the challenges, that the COVID-19 is posing, particularly for sexual and reproductive health. We know that women and girls are most hit when it comes to issues of sexual and reproductive health. So we'll be looking at the challenges. I've got two guests in the house, and I'll let them to introduce themselves, what they do and where they're from, and then we'll take up the discussions from here. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome to Shagalinku.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, can we start with Hajia? Hajia, I know you are a household name. Sometimes I jokingly call you the godmother of NGO because a lot of us, got inspired by your work. A lot of us growing up saw the very good things you've done, and it's amazing how you're still standing and counting. For our first-time viewers who might be watching for the first time and seeing you, they would like to know your name, what you do, and where you're from.
My name is Mairo Bello. I work for, I'm a founding director of Adolescent Center, which is popularly known as, most people do not even know the full name. I think I've been in 30 years, and we are still standing. Our focus has always been on our people to remain the same, and development and economic development, and looking at the total working.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's Hajia Bello from AHIP. We'll come back because you have double cap that you'll be talking with us today on. We'll also be looking at CPAK, what they've been doing, and also where briefly we might just talk about what stance the VAP bill is in Kano. Well, Martins, you are welcome. It's good to have you again. I know you've been doing a whole lot when it comes to teens and young people. Before I go on to ask you a few very dicey questions and challenges that I have, and I feel you might want to talk about it for people who are into teens, because a lot of times handling teens could be something else. If you are not strong or passionate about the work, you might just want to give up. So who is Martins Mary, and where is he from, and all that?
I will first correct the pronunciation of my name to Martin Mary and not Martins. And Falana is my father's name.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Kids and Teens Resource Center, which is a non-governmental organization that is strictly committed to securing the future for young people. It was established in 2002 to advance, promote, and support efforts of government and all other stakeholders who are involved in young people, children, and youth-oriented interventions. I was so happy when I saw the flyer that I will be on the same panel with our Mama, the grandmother of NGOs, AHIP. We learned from people like her in the sector, and it was our own inspiration that also inspired us in what we're doing in the NGO sector. And when she even thought it fit to call me over to do training in her office, that was the peak of like, wow, I have achieved in the sector. She has a very unique strategy using basketball to reach out to young people, especially to curbing these teenage pregnancies among young people. So over here, we are also doing a number of activities among young sex workers, young men at risk, children, a number of people who are neglected in the society by virtue of, circumstances beyond their control. And that's what we've been doing in Ondo State. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And to our viewers, yes, you can like our page. It's Shagalinku TV on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We are streaming in 3 destinations right now. So everyone is also watching us on YouTube, and everyone is watching us on the Shagalinku TV page and the other page. So you will see the comment section here. Drop your comments, and as the program progresses, we will be reading them, and our guests will be responding to them. Okay, let me even start with Hajia. A lot of times when people hear the word sexual and reproductive health, especially when it comes to young people, you find some parents will say they are spoiling their children, they want to teach them about sex. And I shockingly tell parents that if you know what if you know half of what your children know behind you, you probably might collapse. And we can't keep living in self-denial and saying, they are kids, oh, they don't know anything, because they will learn it from the wrong source. I am really happy that not just as a mother, but you are also able to use an organization to harness some of these potentials. So when people hear the word sexual and reproductive health, what does it mean, ma?
The word sexual and reproductive health is an essential word that we must all learn to use, because when people hear the word, they don't even try to define it for what it means. Because for somebody to be sexual doesn't mean you are having population anywhere. It means you as a human being, you have to look at your own. How are you faring as a human being? Because being sexual or being a reproductive human being does not mean that you have to have sexual intercourse every day. It means that you have to take good care of your health. Even the World Health Definition tells you that it is not the mere absence of sickness or infirmity in your reproductive system, but it entails all other things, including spirituality, including how you relate with people, how you take care of your body, how the young girl or the young boy takes care of his body or his reproductive system today determines how he reproduces tomorrow. A lot of young people that have grown to be older young persons or men and women that cannot reproduce today, it may not be what God has destined for them, but sometimes the carelessness of how they handle their reproductive system. So we should look at the definition properly. It says it's not the absence of infirmity or disease from your reproductive system or from your production, but the total well-being of the human being, including economy, power, including spirituality, including your relationships. A man that does not have a good relationship today may not be able to function with his wife. That is something that we must take care of. And it does not matter whether you are young or old, we need to take care of our reproductive system. Our reproductive health is key to every human being, whether you are a young child or you are an adult. In fact, from children, you need to even start telling them what not to do, how not to do it, who not to touch you, how they should not touch you. When you may not agree for anybody to touch you in certain places, you are taking care of your reproductive.
Wow, thank you very much. Mr. Martin. Oh,
the definition, but let's break
Martin
it
Mary.
down so what people will understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hajia. Okay, Martin Mary, let's come to you. Hajia has laid a very strong foundation, and I like the part where she talked about that even as a young child, you should know who touches you and when not to touch and all that. Because when you teach parents some of these things, they just tell you you are inciting the kids, you want to spoil them, the kids are innocent. And I'm like, would you rather not teach them the proper and informative stuff than let them go learn from peers who also may not know anything about it? So in your work with kids and teens, what are some of the I wouldn't say challenges now, but what are some of the outcomes, even from the parents' angle? Because let's also look at the parents, we can't always blame the children because they are also minors. But parents also have a huge fault that they take so many things for granted. And then by the time they realize so much has happened, rape, abuse, and all that, from the parents' angle, what have you seen that is wrong?
Okay. What you don't have, you cannot give. Majority of our parents do not have sex education. What they got from their own parents were when they start menstruation, their parents will tell them, now that you've started menstruating, if you allow anybody to touch you, you'll get pregnant. Do you understand that? And that's why presently we have a lot of problems in the society. People are believing that because they take their children to religious institutions like churches, mosques, that they will learn the word of God and that will help them grow the way they want them. But I think the jet age has passed this. And over time, the parents that have participated in our trainings are doing better in relating with their children as they grow right now than we have it in the past. Only that if I want to count between, even in Nigeria presently, enlightened parents are not yet up to 1%. You have people who are educated but are still in the same school of thought that the way they were brought up is the same way they are going to be bringing up their own children. So sex education, we need more awareness about this for parents. Even if it's special classes we'll be organizing for parents of young people, we need to, stop blaming them, acknowledge that they did not have these skills, and then build their capacities to be able to perform well in relating with their young ones. Because most young people, when they are faced with challenges, they don't even see their parents as the best friend that they could talk to because of that parent-to-child communication gap that's already existing. So they tend to speak with other friends who have no factual and scientifically correct information and approaches to solving their problems. And then they go into trial and error. At the end of the day, they face, what we call consequential outcomes of their actions. Peradventure, we can also blame the country, the federal government. You have policy that takes care of post-abortion care. You don't have policies that support abortion. What are you talking about?
The society.
So these are the issues.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hajia, let's come back to you. So now that we've laid a foundation of what sexual and reproductive health means, and also looking at some of the structures that Martin Mary has also brought out, let's even look at the challenges now. So sometimes when people look at challenges of sexual and reproductive health, the only part they see is maybe violence, rape, parts of others. In this COVID pandemic period, we've had women, due to scare of having to go to the hospital and say, they might, get infected. Some ironically deliver at home, and that complicates issues. So when we are talking about maternal mortality, and we were even begging for pregnant women to get registered on time and then do all that, COVID had come with its own baggage of problem. So, in your own way, what are some of the challenges that we probably might not be seeing, or even the victims are not also seeing the challenges? Because no matter how bad the healthcare centers are, I still don't see any reason why women should give birth at home. Because if complications start, how do you get a midwife immediately or get a doctor to take them to the hospital? So what are the challenges, ma?
I think the challenges of COVID and its effects is enormous. When starting from older generation, going to pregnant women, and looking at the case rape, incest, um, the violence in the domestic front. There are so many. Women, for us in the country, because we are our attitude, we've always had the attitude that women are better. It's better for them to deliver at home. With the COVID now, the fear of COVID now increased that vulnerability and made women deliver at home, some with complications. And the hospital you don't want to go to, when complications set in, you still go back to that hospital
True.
when you should have gone to this place and be safe. So sometimes it's not our fault. And for the lockdown and violence against girls and women in terms of rape, in terms of incest, in terms of domestic violence, and all that, it increased almost to a level that we cannot even describe because no empirical data is available out there. But we hear them every day. Even in the social media, you see them every day, beating your wife to death because she is not responding to your demand. And the frustration of husbands staying at home and the resources that have been depleted also increase the violence again. And who is always at the receiving end? It's the women and the children that are at home. So we cannot even quantify what has happened at that period. It's only if a research can be undertaken now to see what happened during that lockdown, what happened during the pandemic and lockdown, then we may be able to say accurately that this was what went wrong. But we know for sure that rape, incest, and wife battering increased. I don't know if they battered the men, no, but I know that wife battering increased.
They do. Martin Mary can testify of that, that men also go through gender-based violence. Don't they?
It's to men too. That's why I'm asking. So don't blame me because they don't complain to me. Anyway, also that the pandemic has also increased the vulnerability of almost everybody in society, from old
Yeah.
to young.
Yeah.
Because the older one, usually if their hypertension or sugar level or something becomes a problem or challenges them at any point in time, they may go to hospital. But with the pandemic, they will refuse to go. They will start buying drugs to self-medicate, and it may
Mm.
complicate issues. If they are so unlucky and caught the virus, it's, the virus also feeds on those ailments. And that's why you will find that death of older generations was on the increase during the pandemic, not because um, they don't, they are the only ones the virus is taking for, but because of their vulnerability. Their immune system becomes very low at that point. If a young man gets that virus, he may survive it, but an older person may be vulnerable, and if they don't take care of themselves, they may, it may be fatal for them. And then that was the problem. So you find a lot of death, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of increased um, hypertension and all that during this pandemic. But we need to be very careful to confront it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Always tell you stories, and from there you can pick.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ma. Yeah, thank you so much. In case you just joined us, the program is Shagalinko TV. It comes your way every Tuesdays and Saturdays. Today's edition, we're looking at the challenges that COVID-19 is bringing vis-a-vis sexual and reproductive health issues. You know, Hajia Mairo Bello has been talking to us on some of them, and my other guest from Akure, talking about Martin, Mary, Falana is also here and giving us a breakdown of some of the things. So Martin, Mary, let's come back to you and talk about a few more of the health challenges. You know, people don't look at, in the African setting, people don't look at young people or children as vulnerable or people who also have needs, you know. So even as we look at COVID-19 and sexual and reproductive health, what's your take on young? I am worried, you know, for during the lockdown where young girls, and I don't know, these days young girls even as early as 10 have also started their menstrual period. You know, that is how development has gone. My grandmother used to say that in those years a girl could get to 18 before she starts her first menses, but that's not the case now. We're seeing girls of 10, 11, 12, you know. So how is it for them to access healthcare in this pandemic period? You need to mute up. You need to unmute your mic. Okay, fine. Yeah.
I said it's been a challenging period for young people accessing contraceptives and sanitary pads and the like, even during this pandemic. Those who have in stock could not travel to buy more because of the interstate lockdown, and that made a lot of the young people resort to even using tissue
Rags.
paper or clothes that they can reuse, rags, which is so pathetic. And then what do we do? We can't blame anybody. But what we were able to do during the pandemic was to work in collaboration with another organization, Period Kit, My Period Kit, I think that's the name of the organization, who provided free of charge sanitary pads to children in the rural communities who probably will be facing this challenge more than those in the urban city.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. So let me take a few messages now, and then we'll come back and talk some more. Kayode here. Kayode Afolabi says, good topic. We've got another one from Oko Laurel Pius, all the way from Abuja. And it says, thank you for the right topic. My question is, what is the right age to begin sexuality education? That's from Oko Philip, Oko Laurel Pius, yeah, and it's from Abuja. So any of you would want to answer this? The floor is open. Yeah.
Can I take that?
Yes, please. Yeah.
The right age to start sexuality education is actually from the time the child starts crawling. Not even 1 year. From the child who starts crawling and going to places. Come back. We here. Do your we here. Show them the how to read properly. That's part of sexuality education. Show them how to help people. Show them how to say women. All those training you are giving them is part of sexuality education. And by the time they are 1 year, 2 years, you tell you, if anybody touch you in your in your wee-wee, report to me. Don't allow anybody touch you in your wee-wee, or don't allow anybody touch you in your bum. All those things are part of sexuality education. By the time the child is 3 years, if you touch that child in the wee-wee, whether it's a boy or a girl, you will shout, Mama, somebody has touched me in my wee-wee, uncle touched me in my wee-wee. And that way, that's how you go with reporting any abuse. It starts from when the child starts interacting with the outside world. Please, don't think they have to be 10 years or 20 years before they start learning sexuality. Sexuality education is little things that you must teach children to take care of, and they are growing and their lives longer.
Wow. Wow. You have anything to chip in, Martin Mary, before I read
Okay,
the other
yeah, just like,
messages?
and I then jump to what my Hajia has already said. There are age-appropriate education, sexuality education that will give to children, to adults, even for an old woman. So it's from when you were born to when you're going to die that you need sex education or sexuality education. We have a child, like the way we used to tell them, call a spade a spade. Because if you say bomb bomb, it will be difficult for you to differentiate between whether it is the vagina or the bottom. If you call it penis and vagina for the children as they are growing, a penis is a penis. It's not kokoro. It's not toto. A vagina is a vagina. Of all these things is this and this is that. And also let them know all the other slangs that they call this penis. Let them know that penis is also called dick, it's also called this, it's also called that as they are growing. That's why I said age appropriate information. I can't be telling a 6-year-old boy that it's also called dick, prick, all those other names. Do you understand me? But for any young person from age 10, I can tell him to know about all these things because sometimes these are terminologies that they can use in another way to take them away. Like somebody telling a girl that she's telling a friend in the presence of the girl she wants to have sex with that she's going to Jerusalem today. Why will you call vagina Jerusalem? The girl was even asking the boy while leaving that scene that when are you traveling? Have you gotten your visa already? Not knowing that the meaning of the Jerusalem is a vagina. But if she had known about this, if sex and sex other organs have been demystified to this young girl, immediately the guy is saying he's going to Jerusalem. The girl will walk away and will tell the guy, see, calm down.
I'm done. Yeah, and put off your mic. Okay. So let me take a few more messages here. This one is from Dr. Daniel Ndukwe. It says, thanks for this topic. Aisha Sule, all the way from United States of America, says, thanks for the update. I'm so proud of how you keep the issues on the front burner. God bless you. And I got this one from Odunze Daniel. It says, it is obvious that the pandemic has thrown up certain issues that have been hitherto swept under. Now there might likely be a rise in population, which we are not adequately prepared to take care of. How about couples that have discovered that they are cat and dog and they are fighting up and down? This is from Odunze Daniel. Okay. If is anyone replying before I go to the next message, or should we take the next message here?
Okay, let me first talk about this. Presently, the effect of the series of unprotected sexual intercourse going on right now, we'll get the results soon after the pandemic, which is a very valid observation from me. Before now, young people are either engaged in one thing or the other. In school would have taken close to 8 hours of them. But right now, the parents continued in their job. They left this. They have to leave the children at home. And a idle hand, they said, is the devil's workshop. So the children are now being, to kill boredom, are being preoccupied by those around them, neighbors, uncles, pastors, people you can never believe can. In fact, majority of their perpetrators are not strangers. They are people that are well known to them. Mommy's younger brother, mommy's elder brother, husband of your mommy, the one that is not your father. Your father. These are cases that are very pathetic that we are hearing their cases during this pandemic. Incest. In fact, the fact that even brothers were locked down contributed to reasons why majority of all these perpetrators descend on our daughters and our children and our wives, our sisters. So it's really, really pathetic.
Okay, thank you very much. I got this message here from Nelson Semano Coco, all the way from Ghana, and he says, keep it up, Ambassador. Thank you, Nelson. He's always watching and contributing from Ghana, Accra, Ghana. I'll take some more messages while I'll come back and ask Hajia a few questions. This one is from Hefziba. It says, I believe everyone has the right to be educated about how the human reproductive system works at an early age so as to avoid stories that touch the heart. Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, Aja, I'll come back to you to find out. People say that is because some states have not been able to pass the VAP bill into law. That's why we're having rise in cases. Very few states have done that. And would like you to also talk a little about it and what CPAK has also been doing in the fight, to make the push rather, to make sure that the VAP bill sees the day in Kano and other states. I'll come to Martin Mary later to also find out if his state is also. I know your state governor is very passionate on gender-based violence and issues that have to do with reproductive health, but I'll find out from you later too how the VAP thing is going on there. But Hajia, what is CPAK doing, and where are we right now in the fight for VAP bill?
Thank you, Ambassador. The Coalition for Policy Advocacy in Kano have been working going to 4 years now to domesticate the VAP, that is Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. And we have gone very far because we have even reached a situation where we thought we had the final bill. But then when we presented it to the Commissioner of Justice, he was of the opinion that there are so many little laws in Kano dealing with different types of violence, from child labor to stalking to whatever, that we should look at all of them and try to harmonize all the laws that have to do with violence against women. And that's where we are. In fact, we have done our first, but then the then Commissioner of Justice was going to set up a technical committee that will involve a lot of hands of the justice and law department to look at this harmonization and come up with one law instead of having little laws everywhere. And some of them had punishment for almost the same crime, so that we don't promote injustice in society. So that was where we are as SARS. Last 2 weeks before the then Commissioner of Justice was changed. But we have a vibrant Commissioner of Justice now that is ready to look into um, laws that will move Kano State forward. And we trust that the governor of Kano State will be sympathetic to this, because even he has noticed that there's a lot of violence in the society. So we trust that he will give us the treatment here as soon as we have the final bill to present to him, which he will, his council will approve and take, they will take it to the House of Assembly, the State House of Assembly. So that's where we are.
Okay.
It means that not just not touching of law. Law, to have the law is one thing. To implement it is another thing.
True.
Praying that this law, and if they are implemented and made public that this will be implemented, and so it will deter a lot of it will deter a lot of violence. This is what I believe. We are yet.
Okay, so let's wish CPAK well as they do this very laudable project, you know, to make sure that is passed, so we can have some legal protections and backings as well. Martin Mary, how is the story in your state? What's the situation of things? Because we can't keep talking about sexual and reproductive health, the challenges. We can't keep talking about rape. We can't keep talking about issues of girl child or women empowerment and not also finding laws to back them up. Because at the end of the day, it's like one step forward and 5 steps backwards. So what's the story like for you in your state?
Yeah, I'm so proud to say that Ekiti State, bagged the federal government award as best performing state on domestication of women's rights instruments. The VAP, the GBV, all because of what? Yeah. Because of what I can call political will and commitment. The leadership is passionate and they say total zero tolerance for issues around gender-based violence. And not like the lip service that the governors forum came together and said, and since then I was expecting actions and to no avail. Nothing is forthcoming. In the governors forum, when they declared state of emergency, I was so glad, thinking anybody caught from now is gone. But at the end of the day, nothing is happening. In Ekiti State, we've opened a register, name and shame, and your name will forever be in the register. In case you're looking for a job anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, because the register is also online, both soft copy and hard copy. Your name will be searched for and you will be told that you are an ex-offender as far as Ekiti State is concerned. And the civil society organizations in Ekiti State keenly working in collaboration with the state government, especially with the wife of the governor. In fact, you can't but be active with a passionate leadership style. She goes off the street to attack issues. She personally goes off the street to at some point you would think she wants to slap. So you can't see such leadership going on and then you are following majestically. No, you also must also be on your feet. So we are also, because we have the backing of the government that is responsive, we as civil society, we are also out there looking for even attempted rape. Not yet rape, attempted rape. We are going to take it up in the state. So with this, and at the end of the day, you can still see that some people are still perpetrating this evil, despite name and shame, despite being going to court, and there is no bail for any offender in Ekiti State as I speak. There is no bail. In fact, we are looking forward to seeing a lawyer that we want to say is coming to defend a rape perpetrator of rape. No, we will not allow. And I need to give kudos also to the female lawyers. FIDA, no, they are really doing well in the state, supporting the state government in these processes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're getting more messages here, so let me read some of them while Hajia will respond. Yes, please go on, Hajia.
Let me
Please go on,
interject
ma.
one thing.
Okay.
Well, for APC State, I'm proud of APC State because I have my sister in the government house. I'm so proud of my sister.
Thank you very
And I
much.
know so much about whatever she sets her mind to do. And she succeeds in a lot of things that she sets her mind to do. I wish them well. Then, this is one question that the um, former Commissioner of Justice posed to us when we visited him last. And it has been bugging me since then. So let me say it on the air so that anybody that is interested to take action will laws stop rape and all those violence. And we are saying, okay, yes, it will. But how? What is the cost in the first place? We have to go back to the root cause of those things and start addressing them. If our orientation is because of the violence that is perpetrated today, what are we doing about it? If our gender relationship is because of a lot of violence that is happening today, what are we doing? If the way we have groomed our men is our problem,
Thank you.
what about yes, how to how to do that? What are we telling the boys? How are we training our boys? What orientation are we giving to our boys to realize that we have to respect the opposite sex, that the opposite sex is a boy, not a that we live and discuss. Unless and until we address the root cause of all this violence, we will deal with it for a long time. And I believe it too. We did not go and say all this in a lot of words. Just we believe that just having laws will deter the and we started tracking our friends. You, even in his office, US, pushing against each other. So justify what he does and destroy those. But we all came back to realize that not enough. I mean, not enough. We have to do more. Massive reorientation, massive education, both for men and women,
Yeah.
but especially parents. How they groom their how they groom themselves. Because you can have this and if a man is a perpetrator, he will never implement the law. So what are we saying? I think we need a massive reorientation on this.
Wow. Thank you very much. Let me quickly read some messages here and I'll come back to Martin Mary. This one is from Frankie Bassi. She's from Abuja. She says, I'm really happy about the topic. Because personally, I think this is one of the topics African parents are evading in raising their children. Very few parents talk about sexual health with their children, which leads to a lot of errors in our generation today. This is a good one. Well, thank you very much. There's another one from Oluwatobiloba Smile Adesui, but that message is still not dropping. So if it drops, we will read it. Back to Martin Mary, Hajia raised a very fundamental issue. I'm always worried, okay, it has dropped, so let me quickly just show it on the screen. Massive reorientation, that is from Tobiloba Smile Adesui, says there should be massive reorientation. And Hajia just said that a couple of minutes ago. So yes, Martin Mary, she just summed up a whole lot. Like I said, I'm really worried when the emphasis is always on girl child development, and we're not looking at the boy child, because so much is going on for the girl child, and if we don't carry the boy child along, they will eventually spoil the girl child we are trying to maintain or raise up in the decent way, and not learn how to also take care of the boy child. How do you think we can begin to, incorporate and integrate the boy child into all this? Because the African tradition has always made giving a leeway for the boy child. So you find a boy of 5 years watching TV with his father in the parlor watching football. A girl of 15 is in the kitchen with the mother, slaving it out to cook food. And then even when anybody complains, the mother will even be the one supporting the boy. I say, you don't know, say na man, na him be oga for the house, So where do we begin to do all this? So we don't also, in our bid to solve one problem, we are getting into another problem.
Actually, we are not doing badly. I think there are improvements right now. The old song of daddy in the parlor watching film, mommy in the kitchen cooking rice is gradually fading. But I think more work needs to be done in this area. We are seeing more men trying to even give their wives opportunity to contest for governorship positions. People just have a misunderstanding of what the gender concept is all about. Gender is not just about women. It's about both sexes, both boys and girls. And for any program or intervention, we are advocating for what we call gender responsive intervention. For any intervention you are doing, let us have 50% to 50%, or we give it even 60 to 40 of girls to boys because of the gender disparities over time. And then by the time we start doing this, there will be improvement in having more girls getting more informed and making informed choices than leaving them at liberty of the boys who are wicked. There are interventions designed for boys, telling them that they can protect their girls, and there are interventions for girls, teaching them life skills, how to refusal skills, negotiation skills, and communication skills. So we are hoping that with these little drops of water, it will become a mighty ocean in future. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hajia, let's come to you as we plan to wrap up now. What got you the idea, or what brought about the idea that using sports, it's like a forehand knowledge. Boys are restless, and sports is one unifying factor that brings them together. Boys usually are even stubborn at home. No matter how the parents say, I will lock you up in the house today, you will not go out and play ball. They will sneak out and go play the ball, beat them when they come. They will get worried. So how were you able to phantom this very, very laudable aspect using sports to really teach a whole lot, and it's been yielding a whole lot of results? What brought about that concept for you?
Thank you, Ambassador. One thing that is decided how they want to be developed. Not every young person is interested. Not every young person is interested. Not every young person is interested in about. Not every person is interested in teaching them office that they use in or not everybody is interested that you need to life skills now to tell us what they are interested in. The aspect of supported them. Soccer was taught by young people who supported them. The only one who instituted ourselves was because it's our legitimizing program. When we were, at one time we were talking, and all health programs are just investigating the children into having cancer that will benefit them in life. So that is about human development. Even at that, we still give them every component. We give them every component of the sexuality education, which is not about having sex. It's not about having sexual intercourse. What people do not understand. So it helped. And when a young person chooses that this is where they want to go, in fact, they excel in what they want to do. I remember about a few years back, I can count like 3 or 4 young boys that were playing children in their school. And basketball helped set them straight. And because of that, the school gave us an award because they didn't believe that that would come back and be so useful to them. Because once you go through this life skills training and you are encouraged to see yourself as a human being, sometimes the young people just need attention. Some attention. Make them feel they are human beings. Make them feel they have the power to do good things, to do positive things, and not always labeling them as negative, as useless, as people who just cause trouble. No, they want you to use all the positive adjectives to describe them, and they will bring the best out of themselves for you. So if we look at all this and see that young people are changing, I know there are some of the young people that only attended our peer health educators training with all the life skills, the package of the life skills. When they got jobs in banks, they came back to say, look, that training gave them an edge over other young people because they were able to assert all the things that they assert themselves actually to gain recognition in the workplace. So young people just need to be valued. They need you to show them that they matter and they are important. And they will serve you. In fact, bring out the best in them in the society.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will come back to my other guest, but let me take this message from Mao C. Henon. He says, glad to be here. And a second message says, great topic. Okay. So, Martin Mary, let's come to you. So what is your way forward for Kids and Teens Resource Center? What more would you be envisaging to do? I know sometimes resources, funds could be a challenge, but then life must keep going on and situations must be attended to with or without funds. So in your going forward, what are some of the areas you think you would want to venture into as we talk about or as we do issues or fight issues that have to do with challenges of sexual and reproductive health?
Thank you very much. I know Mary Slessor once lived and she tried her best and she was able to stop the killing of twins. So on our own side, we are looking at a future where the environment, the socio-cultural barriers that we have presently will be eliminated. And people will not, because of religion, deny themselves information that could help them. Even when you are talking about condom promotion right now, there are people who, under the disguise of I'm a Christian, will not want to even listen. There are a number of also laws that are not good in Nigeria. These laws, anti-gay, anti-abortion, anti all these things, live and let live. That's my own campaign. Live and let live. Majority of us are living in Nigeria looking for a visa to go to Canada, where even the headquarters of same sex is. Life there is better than life here in Nigeria, where we are overzealously in religious setting. We pray before we steal. We do a number of everything, God, God, God. And at the end of the day, things are this bad. So we're looking forward to a future where all these things will be fine. Then the educational system, thank God that is mainstreaming of sexuality education into the education system. We have the family life and HIV education. We are supporting the Ministry of Education in the implementation of all this across board. Any state they need our support, we go there, we give them the support. Also, we thank God for the NYSC program, which is also one thing that we've been using. We've been supporting this even when there are no funding, to ensure that these concepts of peer education among students on ARH, artificial reproductive health, is sustained. So in all honesty, we need to commend the NYSC. We need to also commend those who are supporting them in Ibuka, the business partners coalition coming together to support them presently. We need to commend them because that project has a multiplying effect. In every camp, we build the capacity of 100 young people, fresh graduates, in order for them to go to schools and train students and mentor students, minimum of 40 each. And you can imagine what this is in Nigeria, in our population. Every local government, we have a core member there trained and also impacting lives of young ones. This is the best way that we can reduce the cases of unintended pregnancy. These are the best way we can reduce the prevalence of HIV and AIDS among young people. This is the best way we can reduce even the cases of sexually transmitted infections, incest. Because when these young people are informed, they are not deformed. And that's why we are looking forward to a future where all these issues can make young people make informed decision in reaching or in any decision that they are taking. And we're happy that majority of our young people are also using this. They are volunteering right now after being trained to also reach out to other young people because the bad ones are more influencing them negatively. So we also need not to rest in building capacities of more young people who will be standing as organs of enlightenment among their colleagues. That way we will overcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Hajia, as we wrap up too, what's the way forward for AHIP and CPAK? What more do you intend? You have so much on your plate, and we're always wondering how you are able to overcome one hurdle and move to another, and overcome and achieve and move to another. So we'll also like to ask what's on the plate of AHIP and what's on the plate of CPAK, and what do you intend achieving in the next few months and maybe years to come?
Life itself is not fair. And it's only because there are hurdles of living. So just like every other thing, programs are like living human beings. You have to continue to make them live longer. I for AHIP, we'll keep on doing what we do best. Nurture people, mentor people. Because sometimes we don't do programs directly anymore. We mentor people to go and do them. We train people to go and do them. If it's in schools, we train teachers to do them because they can relate to the children better and monitor how they do those things. If it's for CPAK, of course, I've bought new shoes to do the legwork. And all my members on the CPAK platform have their new shoes because with the new age, we have to convince them and make sure that we reach our goal of finalizing and getting this back bill approved in chemistry. So we are focused by God's grace. And a lot of help is coming on board, because right now we have a few organizations that have come to support us, and we know that we will make it.
Wow. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for joining us in spite of your busy schedule. So I'll just let any of you who have any words, final words of greeting, maybe to your partners, to people who support you, any final words of greetings that you want to do before we close up the show. So the floor is all yours.
Okay, I will say that please, let's live and let live. There's no one-way approach. If you want to use religious approach, use religious approach without criticizing other approaches. Just like we have the ABC. If you want to abstain, abstain. If you want to be faithful to your partner, be faithful to your partner. If you cannot abstain and you cannot be faithful to your partner, please
Use
condomize.
condom.
This way, let us, save ourselves and our generation from this menace. Thank you.
Thank you. Hajia.
Well, I will call also authorities to continue to create enabling environment, because CSOs cannot operate if the enabling environment is not there. So far, I think we have a lot of enabling environment. And I will ask our colleagues in the NGO world to support each other. The live and let live is not about government alone. It's about even we, the actors from the field. Know that we have different capabilities and we can leverage on each other's capability. We don't have to pull him down or pull her down before you climb up. It's important that we support each other. And the more we support each other, the stronger we will be, and the better we will perform, and the more results we will get out of society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I want to thank everyone who joined us. I also want to thank my guests, Hajia Mairo Bello, the founder and executive director of AHIP, and also CPAK. And yes, thanks to my second guest, Martin Mary Falana from Akure. He's the executive director of Kids and Teens Resource Center. He went off before, but he's back here. So I want to thank all of you, and I want to thank everyone who joined us on the program, those who watched from outside the country. We really appreciate you, and we will likely bring Martin and Hajia to come again to, there are other areas we need to also talk about. But yes, Hajia also has to go for a meeting very soon. So I know she's also rushing. Martin, you are always on the field. How do you cope? How do you cope, man?
You don't have to rest.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. It's a pity our Jazz network has gone off, but then this is the size of our program. The videos will be here for everyone to watch. Just go to our Shagalinko TV page. The video will be there. You can also check it out on YouTube because we are streaming on three destinations, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on the other channel. So the videos are here. You can watch. The conversations are ongoing. Thanks to everyone. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and thank you all for being here. Have a beautiful Tuesday and take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.
Bye.